Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? It's Buns. Welcome back to the Road to Gladiator series. Today, we're going to be breaking down our first rated games since this Tuesday, the arena season has launched for Legion. With that, I've been playing with a buddy of mine who I met through playing skirmishes over the past couple of weeks. His name is Chilla. He's playing a Fire Mage. I'm playing a Subtlety Rogue. And we've been doing a handful of twos games over the past couple of days. And I'm going to break down how some of these games went for us, good and bad. So, let's jump into it, guys. In this first video, we're playing against a Demonology Warlock and a Holy Priest. Now, in rated 2v2 skirmishes, you can queue healer DPS, which is too bad. I fucking hate queuing against healers in twos. It is so fucking obnoxious, they should have left that shit out. Anyways, we decided that we have to go the Holy Priest, as Demonology Warlocks are extremely tanky, so we get the opener onto the Holy Priest, get a Dragon's Breath onto the cast, and the Priest ends up dropping down line of sight. Now, he's going to try to fake cast my kick here a million times, and I just refuse to kick until he's at 90% of his cast, and guess what? He doesn't get there. Where does he end up going? Into the graveyard. See ya, mate. GG, well played. Now, one thing that I want to point out in this clip. You see this huge Fel Lord that's dropped out on the ground? That does an obnoxious amount of damage. You have to get out of that circle that drops down. The Fel Lord is a talent that a Demonology Warlock can tank, and they drop on the ground. And if you stay within that circle that the Fel Lord's hitting you in, you take anywhere from 300 to 400k damage a hit. It is obnoxious. It lasts for 30 seconds. It is something that you absolutely have to get away from, or if you have to kill the Warlock for some reason, put a blind on it or some sort of CC, because it is a lot of damage. Another class I want to cover is Rep Paladins. Now, Rep Paladins have a few big abilities that are really taking people by surprise. The first ability that I want to talk about, the Rep Paladin uses here in the beginning of this clip. Now, we start off on the Rep Paladin waiting for the Rogue to swap. As soon as the Rogue comes out, I put him into a blind to force his trinket, and then we're looking to hard swap. But you can see that the Rep Paladin uses this bubble effect. Now, this bubble effect is called Shield of Vengeance. And Shield of Vengeance allows him to have a shield put up on himself that after about 250k damage is absorbed on him, he will also do an AoE effect that does 250k damage to anyone standing in his proximity. Now, this can catch people off guard because you want to go through the shield, but it also does a lot of damage. So you need to make sure that you're either out of range of it, you're on a class that can purge it off, or you have enough defensive abilities to be able to go through it and take the punishment. As the clip resumes, we continue getting pressure onto the Rogue. The Paladin is forced to bop the Rogue, but thankfully our Mage has Spell Steal, so we're able to take the bop off and continue hitting the Rogue, which makes it a great target for us in this matchup, as we're able to kill the Ret's partner very quickly. I'm able to get an off sap off of his sheep onto the Ret, and we spark his cheat death, and then we're able to get through it here in the next few seconds. Now, the next two abilities that Rep Paladins have that I want to take a brief moment to talk about are Blessing of Sanctuary and Holy Wrath. Blessing of Sanctuary is an honor talent that is in the 5th row of Rep Paladin's honor talent choices. Now, you will see this more often in 3v3 arena than you do in 2s, but it is still relevant. And Blessing of Sanctuary is extremely strong. One of the most underrated and overlooked abilities in the entire expansion so far. It instantly removes all stun, silence, fear, and horror effects from a friendly target and reduces the duration of future such effects by 60% for 5 seconds. And on top of that, it's on a 25-second cooldown. This ability alone puts Ret utility through the roof. It's extremely viable to run Ret Paladin as a second melee DPS, as it helps teams that don't have a lot of CC control to be able to get out of CCs. So if a Ret Paladin's playing in a double DPS comp and their healer gets CC'd, it can take their healer out of a full stun and completely shut down any sort of follow-up for another stun. It is so strong right now in this meta. Rep Paladins are the ultimate assist class right now. Finally, you have the ability that's been taking World of Warcraft by shock, and that is Holy Wrath. Holy Wrath deals holy damage up to 4 enemy players within 10 yards, equal to 50% of their missing health against enemy players. So if a Rep Paladin's getting really greedy and is sitting at 10% health before he bubbles, he can Holy Wrath and do 45% of his health in damage to everyone within 10 yards. So you either have to back up if you're a caster, get out of that range while they're going low, especially if they still have bubble up and you definitely can't get the kill, or if you're a melee, make sure you have adequate defenses going in to reduce that incoming damage, because it is going to hurt and you will get clobbered. Here I wanted to talk about Fire Mage Rogue synergy. Now you can see that we get the sap out on the Rogue, but one thing that happens here due to the Fire Mage Mastery Ignite is when a mage damages their main target, they have a chance on their Ignite for it to spread up to nearby targets and cause the dot to go on other targets other than their primary target. So here you can see that the fireball damage ends up spreading by chance on the Rogue. Now, you have to be super careful as Mage Rogue, as this can cause a lot of problems, obviously. In this clip, I didn't actually realize that he even broke out of it, and I don't even think my mage friend knew as well either. We thought the Rogue trinketed. That's what I had thought. But you can see that he got the dot at him, and when I went back to look at it, it's very obvious to see that. And I went back and looked as well, too. There are a lot of other abilities with Fire Mages as well, too, such as Conflagration and Living Bomb, which are both talents that you can choose in your mage specs. So you have to be very careful with your spacing when you're opening on targets, and keep in mind that if you do take the chance to open when targets are stacked on top of each other, there is a high chance that that CC is going to be broken, which may stop your synergy with saps and cause some issues with DRs going into the future. So it's something that I learned in this clip, and it was valuable information going into the future. So at this point in my mind, I had already thought the Rogue trinketed, and we were going to commit damage into the Mage. Now you can see as the clip continues that I get blinded, and I feel very safe to sit this right now, in my mind thinking that he has no trinket, as I can just put him into some CC and finish off the Mage. But as he reopens, we get a Dragon Breath onto the Rogue, and he trinkets that, and it completely catches me off guard, and I pretty much panic blind the Rogue to continue to try to finish off this Mage, and it just threw the whole game off for me, thinking that his trinket was there when it was not, because it actually would have been better for us at this point to swap with a kidney onto the Rogue and finish him. We had just already committed so much time and life resources to going to the Mage that it hurt us not knowing that his trinket was still up. I want to show you guys this clip to show how you can deal with Demon Hunters at the start of the game. Now we decide to hide behind the opening box here and force them to come to us. This way we have an opportunity to possibly get a sap onto the Blood DK and take out this Demon Hunter 1v2 to give us the upper edge. Now, by standing here, it forces both of them to come to us, and they feel comfortable knowing where we are, but it also opens up a 2v1 opportunity for me to get the sap on the Blood DK, creating the situation where we're now able to more efficiently deal with this Demon Hunter. One thing that we talked about after the game that helped us improve our synergy is I told my mage that Blind and Dragon's Breath DR with each other. So it's going to be more efficient for me to Blind first in most case scenarios and him use Dragon's Breath off. As it's a short CC, this helped our synergy a lot going into the future. We're going against a Frost Mage and a Rogue, and the Frost Mage decides to use Invisibility late. So I decide to go pretty ham, use my AoE to pull him out of stealth, and go all in. So I'm committing damage onto this mage. The Rogue stuns me. I decide to trinket it as it is a stun to get pressure onto this mage. Now I get Nova'd here. I should use my Vanish to go over and sap the Rogue, but I decide to be pretty patient, wait on my cooldowns. He ends up vanishing anyways. This creates a situation where I have no trinket, and I want to be very patient about opening here as the Rogue still has trinket. So I'm thinking about whether or not I want to cheap shot open this Rogue, but I decide not to as he's peeling off, and my mage is doing good damage to the Frost Mage. I end up catching this Rogue out of combat, landing a sap, and then I begin attacking the Frost Mage, which pretty much forces the Rogue's trinket at this point, which we land into a DB Sheep. He's able to stop him from getting a re-stealth. I can get a stealth off of the Blind, and we're able to completely swap the momentum in this game. I land an off kidney onto the Rogue, and we continue the pressure for the Mage. Now I have my Cloak of Shadows still available to use onto the Mage, get enough damage to finish him off, and my Mage goes in for the slam dunk. This was a great game being patient and understanding the matchup, letting the game play out for itself. Being patient on my reopener after my Vanish allowed us to dictate the pace for the rest of the game. In this final clip, we're facing a Rep Paladin and Assassination Rogue. Usually in the rogue versus rogue mirror in 2v2s, the second rogue to open controls the pace of the match, as he is able to dictate the other rogue's trinket, which allows hard swaps with kidneys in the matchup. So I let my mage open on the Ret Paladin, forcing the 1v1, which he can probably win by kiting. The rogue decides to open, put the blind onto him, he immediately trinkets, we hard swap with a kidney here, forcing a lot of damage onto the rogue, making him fall behind, and we would 100 to 0 him here in the stun chain. We miss a little bit of damage, he's able to get the vanish off, he forces cloak, uses all of his CDs. My mage also has to use bubble, but we also get the paladin's bubble as well too, so I decide that I'm gonna have to open here to force the rogue out, opening with a stun. Their rogue opens, I'm cautious to use my trinket at this point, and we start turning the damage again onto the rogue with a stun. He DBs off the paladin, and we're able to finish off the rogue here after the cheat death goes down. This is a very efficient way for dealing with rogues in the 2v2. Understand that most case scenarios, the second rogue to open is in the driver's seat and usually dictates the first trinket in the game. So understanding when you're in a matchup where you can abuse the 1v1 with the other classes playing, in this case scenario a Fire Mage versus a Ret Paladin, you can abuse the other rogue into forcing his trinket early in the matchup, helping you get the win. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm really excited to be able to start playing in some rated arenas. It's great to be able to get your feet wet, especially if you want to play 2v2 arenas. It's a good place to start. You get a good idea for your class limits, you understand what you and your partner can do to combat against your opponents, and since it's a small setting with 4 people, you are also able to pick up more in detail what all your other opponents' classes can do with their abilities, as there's only 4 people in the game, so it's easier to keep track of rather than 3v3 arenas or playing Battlegrounds. Thank you guys for all the support. I will catch you guys on the next video. Keep it easy, everyone. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Buns. Welcome to our second gameplay breakdown in the Road to Gladiator series. Today, we're going to be covering various clips that I've done over the past few days, giving you guys analysis and breakdown on what